What's going on, guys? Bruce Madsen, your host of the show. I'm here to talk fantasy football, redraft, dynasty, but right now I'm getting you ready for them rookie drafts, talking about draft prospects and how they can help you in fantasy football for the long term. Rookie drafts, usually after the NFL draft. We got a lot of time, but I'm bumping out that content now so you guys are ready. You have me available for your resource. And just because I talk about a player today doesn't mean I'm going to have another video about him tomorrow. So you better hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a show, you don't miss an episode. Hit that like button. Get me up on that algorithm, son. Let's get some views, yo. But today, every episode's special, right? Today, though, I'm going to be talking about Kadarius Toney. This guy has been getting a lot of publicity from the Senior Bowl, from the big media, the conglomerate NFL draft machine. I've seen him mocked in the first round, which has my eyes wondering what's going on here. So I put on the tape, watched some games, been watching him all season. He has been a dynamic player all year. Can't really deny him of that. And had a good season. Caught 70 balls for 984 yards and 10 touchdowns in 11 games. So good statistical outline there. Had a 22.6% market share of Florida's offensive production. Not bad there at all. Tape, watching the games, tape checks out. Good after the catch. Strong when the yak and break tackles. Strong hands. What I like about his game is he knows how to sell routes, and he has really good start-stop ability, good footwork, can create separation. He's shown that during the Senior Bowl this week. He's had some drops. They've been on some clips. You'll see them. But he has shown good route running this week at the Senior Bowl in practices. Mind you, when you're watching the Senior Bowl in these practices, a lot of these one-on-one drills with them and the DBs, they're kind of geared for the wide receiver win, per se. It's different than an on-field play. It's a drill, so you got to keep that in mind. There's more field for them to work with. It's different. They don't have a safety shading over. They don't have to read coverage. There's just a lot of different nuances that one-on-one drills don't give you, but he has looked good this week, and it's going to be interesting what's going to come out of the Senior Bowl game. The Senior Bowl game should be a very small portion of your draft analysis. We already have everything really with us, with the film, with the metrics, and we just got to mesh it all together. And I like his tape from this year. I can see how he can win. I can't say he's a bad player. He's got good athleticism. He's a very strong player. Got a little bit of like that Deebo Samuel in his game where like if he catches the ball, there's a guy in his lane ready to make the tackle, he can run through it. He's very swift, and he can start and stop pretty easily and change directions. When I look at him from a value perspective and seeing him going in the first round, it kind of scares me a bit because I know that's going to raise his draft capital in Dynasty for some folks. But I still like Rondale Moore, Rashad Bateman, Terrace Marshall. I like the younger wide receivers a lot better. What gets me about Toney is that his late breakout age. It took him till 21 years old to break out. He had all this time to develop skills, so it wasn't like he was an instant breakout. He was also playing against a lot of younger players most of the time, so just working on 19-year-old kids, 20-year-olds, 18-year-old guys. It doesn't sound like that's a big deal, a 21 versus a 19-year-old kid, but it is in a developmental standpoint. His breakout age, his age going in the draft is a major red flag for me. I don't see why I should draft him when I have guys like Rondale Moore who broke out at 18, who has been even more dynamic at a younger age, who's going to have draft capital. Maybe not as much, but he's going to have high draft capital. Why would I pivot from Rondale Moore? Why would I pivot from Rashad Bateman, who's also been balling out since he was a freshman? His tape looks better. He's had a lot better tape throughout the years. He has years of tape, not just 1 year of tape. I don't hate him as a prospect. It's just the red flags are too concerning for me where, like, I would rather pivot to a safer option. Just wide receivers, late breakout age, older wide receivers going into the draft, they tend to be red flags. It doesn't mean he won't hit. If he goes to a grand situation where his attributes can be excelled or used correctly, then that could bump him up. But it's more about avoiding the landmine, because we've seen a lot of late older prospects get bumped up later in the draft season, later in their collegiate careers, and then they get this draft capital, and they don't send John Ross, Dante Pettis, Nate guys after guys, Rashad Perriman, just the list goes on, and it just doesn't work out. There's always outliers. Just because we've had a row or a run of players that were older didn't hit doesn't mean Kadarius Toney doesn't hit. I do like what I see on the field. I do think he's a good player. It's just I'm minimizing risk, and I may end up drafting him in some spots just because he slides, because there's a lot of people who have the same opinion as me, and it's not really groupthink. It's more like the process among the, say, NFL draft community, fantasy football dynasty community has kind of merged to be very similar. But I will give him credit. He is very good on the field. He does some good things. It's just all those other wide receivers who are older coming out for the draft, they did good things as well. Let's talk about the three I just mentioned. John Ross at Washington blew up fast, made plays downfield, sticky hands. Where's he at now? Rashad Perriman, big, size-adjusted speed guy, uber fast, late breakout guy. Dante Pettis. Now, he had a little better career where, like, he was more productive off and on, but he also had lesser draft capital, but he had some red flags in his profile as well, where, like, you knew that the odds were stacked against him from a historical standpoint. He looked good on the field. He looked good on his tape. And he had a few athletic metrics that stood out. But evidently the size, he wasn't really uber productive. Did not bode well. Now, some guys who statistically does well, they'll bust as well. It's not a foolproof plan. So I'm not 100% locked on to metrics. That's why I do film study. But when you're just playing the odds, you're just more likely to hit the ball in the fairway than slice it. There's just way less misses because you're just playing the odds with your moves. At the end of the day, my thesis on Kadarius Toney is that he's a good player. He does have the upside. He does do well on his film review, and he's a playmaker. He's a player. He will have high draft capital, but I think buyers should beware on him, and I think as long as those younger players who has been just as productive, if not more productive, and have a better highlight reel that is on the board for you in rookie drafts, you should probably look more into them. And if Toney falls in your draft, then think about it, but realize that he could be a potential landmine in 2021 rookie drafts. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for following me along through this process, this vlog style video. Pretty much I watch a player and I just hit the camera. Watch a player, hit the camera. And it's been going pretty smoothly. If this is something you like, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I'm rocking episodes left and right. And you don't want to miss out, because this is content that's going to help you out in rookie drafts. This is going to make you a better fantasy football player. This is going to help you analyze players, because right after I'm done watching Kadarius Toney or this player, I hit the camera, I start talking, and then I go over my process, I go over my thoughts. It's like a virtual diary. So it helps you guys out too, look at these players, see how my mind's working. And you may not agree. I don't want you to agree with everything I say, because I am going to be wrong. Everybody's going to be wrong at something. So I don't want you to agree with me 100%, but I do want to help and teach people how to look at the game better, how to analyze prospects, and just be more objective. If that's something you're into, you may want to stick along with this show. But thank you guys. I'll catch you next time. Peace out.